Well, hello everyone. I made it to my campsite. It's the exact same campsite as I had last weekend. Here, let me step out of the picture. Little camera will focus on Mount Baker. I was not intending to be at this campsite. I thought I was going to be over that direction several miles, and indeed I drove there. It took a quarter tank of gas and a couple hours for the round trip, because when I got there I found the road was blocked by downed trees, 2 of them at least. So I found another site, but all the other, I couldn't find a site with cell phone reception. And I know this one has cell phone reception, but it also has these terrible beetle bugs, and they're still here, but there's enough wind that they're not so bad as last weekend. So I'm going to stay here again. It's a nice campsite, a great view of the sky. I'll do some stargazing tonight. But since I'm so late, I am starved to death. So I got to get campsite set up and get my campfire going so I can cook some bacon for my sandwich. So we'll get that going. Well, today's lunch is going to be a little bit of an experiment. I'm going to see if I can take some of this pre-cooked bacon and crisp it up in this baking pan on top of the fire. And then I've got some shredded chicken from the deli, and I got some hot dog buns and some potato salad. What could possibly go wrong? That sounds great. Well, dang me anyhow. You're probably going to get tired of hearing me say this, but I did something really stupid this morning when I was packing up to leave. At the last moment, I thought, it'll be a nice night for stargazing. And so I thought, well, I'll grab my binoculars and my tripod so I can look for some deep sky objects. So I went to the pile where my tripod is and grabbed up my blue case there with the tripod in it, grabbed my binoculars, and when I get here and I unload the tripod, I noticed it's not a tripod. It's something I definitely don't need, a sleeping cot. So the book I'm going to read today is a short story by my favorite author, Robert Louis Stevenson. He wrote Treasure Island, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and a lot of really good stories. The Body Snatcher's another great one. But this one I'm reading is The Bottle Imp. I actually read that about 10 or 12 years ago. It was in a collection of short stories, and then I lost that book. And I liked the story so much, I kept looking for it, could never find it. And over the years, I keep looking for it because I would like to find it. And then it occurred to me last week, I'll bet you I can find it on Amazon, because everything's on Amazon. And sure enough, there it was. I bought it for like $6. And so I'm going to sit in my chair here and read it. It's an excellent story. You can see it's a very thin book, not much to it. Just a few dozen pages. Quick, easy read. Well, that was a fun read. It only took about an hour. Well worth my time. But I think now it's time for me to think about dinner. No, actually, I've been thinking about dinner for a long time. It's time for me to stop thinking about dinner and actually make dinner. Oh, look, there it is, ready to go. What do we have here? We've got some chili, corn chips, pre-shredded cheese, some shredded lettuce, and some cherry tomatoes. That can mean only one thing: taco salad. Now, I don't use canned chili. I like to make my own chili the night before. First, a substantial amount of corn chips. Now, the trick is to get some chili everywhere and enough to melt the cheese. I shred the cheese the night before, and the trick is I add just a little bit of flour in there so it doesn't stick to itself. Got to add a little bit of lettuce, or perhaps a lot. Some cherry tomatoes. Oops, perhaps. Look at that. Look at that. Huh? Yeah. Make sure my hair doesn't get in my food. Gotta get in there where that chili is. Oh yeah. I won't make you watch me eat this. I'll just finish it off and you can rest assured it's delicious. Well, that was very good. I actually went back for seconds, but it's actually getting cold. It's only about 7:28. Sun's not down by any stretch of the imagination, but I had to put on my jacket. It's getting cold out here. Don't know what the temperature is. I've put up a thermometer here. I'm going to let it settle down and then I'll find out. But I think when I got here it was 58 degrees, and that was like at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, about 4,200 feet. So didn't really get that warm up here today. And it's been a warm week. It's gotten up into the upper 80s and even hit 90 once or twice during the week. That's pretty dang hot for here in the Pacific Northwest. Well, it's a little bit after 11 o'clock. It's about 45 degrees, and with the wind, it's actually pretty cold. I'm having a hard time staying warm, so I'm going to go ahead and call it a night, crawl into bed, crawl into Spike here, where I'll be nice and warm. Didn't get to do too much stargazing as far as the deep sky objects go. I did see the butterfly cluster, but wasn't able to pick anything else out. Just had to do it all with my naked eye. The binoculars don't really work without a good tripod. But it was sure interesting just to look up and see the Milky Way galaxy and all the different constellations that are out in the summertime. So I'll just say goodnight. If anything else happens, I'll just have to tell you about it because camera doesn't record anything at night. So I'll see you in the morning. Well, good morning. That was a good night's sleep. I didn't get up till almost 8 a.m. this morning. Sort of overslept. So I'm making breakfast now. It's going to be bacon, grapes, and my standard cream of wheat, and a cup of coffee. I know I previously said I basically only drink water, but in the mornings I do often have a cup of coffee. When I woke up this morning, opened up the hatch on Spike, and the whiff of smoke. That wind has stopped blowing, and the forest fire that's been burning over here by New Halem all drifted in over here. So there's no view. It's still very pretty up here. And who knows, maybe the smoke will keep those beetle bugs away. The wind sure didn't help. Well, looky there, it's about noon. I've been lounging around all morning listening to YouTube music. My stomach clock says it's time to eat. Clock says it's time to eat, so I think I'll make lunch. Well, I got everything spread out here, and it looks like I'm going to have quite a feast. I'll have a hot dog, another one of those bacon and turkey sandwiches, some potato salad, and then when that's all over with, I'll have this cake that my wife got for me. Well, that was delicious, that bacon and chicken sandwich on a hot dog bun and a hot dog with the potato salad. But I'm stuffed now, happily sated, and I didn't leave any room for the cake. I still have desire for it, so I'll save it for later in mid-afternoon or something. It'll be a high-calorie snack break. Well, I've decided to go for a little drive in Spike, get out of camp for a while, see how smoky it is up around other corners and that. Also, it gives me an opportunity to run the motor and charge the batteries. The refrigerator's been running all day, and I don't want the battery to go dead overnight, so when I wake up in the morning, the battery's dead. Don't need any kind of issues. Also, I love this drive up here. It's just so pretty. You can see it's a 2-track. Almost nobody comes up here. Nobody knows about it. I looked over here for years driving up and down the main highway over there and wondered, is there any way to get there? I just assumed there wasn't. It wasn't until just a few years ago when I got my motorcycle that I was able to find the access. Wow, look at all this fireweed still in bloom. I'm sure it's at the end of its flowering phase. Pretty narrow, brushy road here. Get a few more pinstripes on Spike. Wow, look at that. Hard to be to drive out here. Little meadows down there. Wow. It's like all the dandelions have gone to seed. They're glowing sunlit heads here. Really nice. Well, I guess I should head home and make dinner. Home. Back to camp. I guess home isn't so much a place as it is a feeling, and I certainly feel at home out here. Well, I think that little drive will suffice to top off Spike's battery through the night. I know I've run that refrigerator for 16 hours without running the battery dead, and I should be gone from here long before 16 hours from now. There's not much of a view today because of all the smoke. However, it might pay off tonight. It might pay off tonight with a really nice sunset. Sometimes smoke in the sky makes a really nice sunset. I'm about ready to start making dinner. It's going to be that haystack. I think that's my favorite car camping dinner right now. There's no restaurant anywhere that can compete with a meal like this. Not only is it delicious, but the setting is unequaled. You've got the mountain ash, you've got the fireweed, you've got huckleberries, you've got cedar, you've got the spruce trees, the fir trees, the hemlocks. It's altogether unparalleled. Gonna go for a little evening stroll here in the setting sun. It's a beautiful summer evening, even with all the smoke, maybe even partially because of all the smoke. I can hear a stereo blaring away down the lower slopes of the mountain. I'm sure they think they're way out in the woods where there's nobody else, since they can't see anybody. A wise man once said that noise is the chief product and the authenticating sign of civilization. I agree with him, but I also add garbage into that list. Noise and garbage. Civilization. So I've been a carpenter all my life, 40 plus years. And about 3-4 years ago, I was working for a company. Really nice boss. I really liked him. Really great guy. Co-workers are nice. But there was this one guy who was just a jerk. And you know, everybody has to work with a jerk, it seems. But this guy just went out of his way. He couldn't be happy unless other people were unhappy. And I told my boss, you know, I'm not going to put up with it. If you don't do something about it, I'm going to leave. And I told him that 3 times over the course of a few weeks. And then that guy came out being a jerk to me, and I just got up and left. I called my boss, said, okay, I told you, he's going to be a jerk, I'm going to leave. So I left. And I told myself it wasn't going to be that way anymore. I'm not just going to work all the time and really get nothing for it. You know, as a carpenter, you don't have any benefits. You don't get vacation. You don't get sick time. You don't have health care. You don't have 401k. You know, you don't have anything. You're just working all the time. And you know, you're remodeling someone's kitchen. They don't want you to leave and go on vacation. They want you to finish that kitchen. You can go after you're done with the kitchen. Of course, there's somebody right after them who wants their bathroom remodeled. And they don't want, when they're waiting for you to get over to their job, when you finish the other one, they don't want you to take a vacation. They're upset. And so anytime you do get any time off, not only do you not get paid vacation, everybody's upset because you're holding up the job or something. So I decided I wasn't going to do that anymore. What's the point of living like that? So my new boss, my new employer, I told him I'm available 4 days a week, 6 hours a day, Monday through Thursday. If there's an emergency or something, I'll come in on Friday. And sometimes I'll put in longer days. But for the most part, I don't. I have 3-day weekends now. So I lost 1 day a week of work, which is 20% of my income. That's considerable, especially now with inflation and everything. But I increased my life by 50%. I added another day instead of just 2 days off, which you really can't do anything with. If you go camping, you just go, you camp one night, get up and come back. By increasing my life by 50% has just made all the difference in the world. It's the best choice I ever made. It's a little bit of a struggle financially, but you know, you only live once. And so these days, Friday comes around, I'm already packed. On Thursday, I got everything ready. Thursday after work, I've loaded up everything into the car that won't attract thieves. Friday morning, I go down and load up everything else, and I head out. And then I get out here before the weekend crowds, and I get first dibs on everywhere. And you know, all my life I've ridden motorcycles, and so I've been all over Western Washington on my motorcycle, every road I can find to its very end. Some of those roads would just be completely overgrown. And so I know every single road, and I would find all these great places. And so once I went to a 3-day weekend, I already know a lot of nice places, a lot of really nice places. And so that's what I do now. Dandog has 3-day weekends, 50% more life than he had at any other time during his life. And so I'm 62 years old now. I will be in a couple months. And I don't have any regrets having done that. I just squeeze the budget and I enjoy my life more than I ever have. I can camp now all the time. So I came up here yesterday on Friday. I camped overnight. I've been here all day today. I'll camp again. I'll get up early tomorrow. I'll go home. Amy and I will go out and we'll have a great time. We'll go do something. We'll go to a beach. We'll go to a park. We'll do a hike. We'll pick some huckleberries. We'll go four-wheeling. We'll do something. And then Monday I'm back at work. But it doesn't kill me because it's only a 6-hour day, which is about as much as I can handle physical labor as a 62-year-old man. A lot of times coworkers will be jealous and make some remark or something, but it's not like I'm getting paid when I'm not there. It's not like I'm still earning 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. You know, I'm paying for my free time, and it's worth the cost. And so that's my story. That's how I get out here and do these things all the time. That's how I can be here now. And that's how I'll be doing next weekend and the weekend after that. This has been going on now for a little over a year. Even when I was working full time, I never missed a weekend. I would go out, rain or shine or snow, blizzard, whatever. I'd be snowshoeing, I'd be mountain biking, kayaking, something. But it was always just one day. This is so much better. And I have zero regrets. Well, there's the crescent moon setting in the west. Hard to see on a little cell phone video, but beautiful in person. Well, I guess that wraps up the final full day here at Camp Dandog. Got everything put inside a spike that might possibly smell of food. So I'll crawl into bed and call it a day. I'll see you in the morning. Well, good morning. And it's a smoky morning this morning. The sun is just coming up there. It's just as red as it went down last night. I've actually been up for a few minutes and I've done a few things. I've put my leveling blocks in spike already. Just got a few more things to pick up. I'm not going to have breakfast here. I'm just going to gather my stuff up and head back home and see what Amy and I have planned for the day. So I got the car all packed up and was just driving off, and got a text from my wife. Apparently she didn't sleep well last night, so she said there's no reason to get home super early. So I backed back into my camp spot, set up a table, a chair, pulled out my little jet boil, made some breakfast and coffee, just kind of winding down here, trying to figure out what time I might leave. I still want to get home kind of early. I want to take a shower and all that. So yeah, a little extra bonus, a little encore here for Camp Dandog. No problem with that. Well, I guess that's probably about as long as I can wring this out. Got everything packed up again, and I'll head for home. It's going to take me at least 2 hours to get there, so I better get started. Again, thanks for coming along with me. You know, it's not safe to camp by yourself, so I appreciate your being there. Hope to see you again next weekend.